Welcome to the Barker Podcast Collection.
I suck at Call of Duty.
Welcome to the Not Playing Podcast. My name's Rob Howard, and today I'm joined by
Ian Bruce.
Okay, still very much playing Spider-Man, but I have played a few new things. I thought, in order to pad out this episode somewhat, though, we could address a couple of bits of news that have happened since the last time we spoke. So the first one probably would have to be the Telltale Games fiasco. They seem to have imploded after sinking all their money on costly franchises and people getting a bit sick of their shtick, I suppose. I mean, it's a real shame, obviously. Lots of people have lost their jobs over this. And, obviously feel for them. But, yeah, I don't know. How do you feel about the Telltale Games thing? It sounds like they're going to Skybound, the publishing arm, Robert Kirkman's publishing company, are going to somehow finish off the final season of Walking Dead.
Which is great. That's good.
Which is, it's good news. Not great news for the people who lost their jobs, obviously. But I hadn't started on that because I'd kind of got to the point with those games where I was kind of ready to wait for them to all come out. Because I feel, to be honest, as much as I sort of dug their episodic model, the frequency with which the episodes came out it seemed to be so sporadic and not really. I mean, I suppose there was a rhythm to it, but I feel like a month apart, it was just too much really to hang on to the plot.
That's fair enough.
And all that. Yeah. So I think the last season of Walking Dead, I think I waited and I enjoyed playing it that way. So that's what I was going to do with this, if they ever finish it.
Yeah. It's a shame, isn't it? I mean, there's good people there. I mean, there's always good people everywhere, isn't it? But
yeah.
Be interesting to see what those people do next and if they use another engine.
Yeah. I wonder if a few of them might get hired by Don't Nod, who seem to be doing quite well with their Life is Strange kind of game that I feel like is a bit more gamey, because I think The Walking Dead really did feel at times like just kind of a sort of evolution of the point and click genre. Whereas Life is Strange seemed a bit more gamey.
Yes, it feels like you're part of the world instead of turning digital comic book pages or something.
Yeah, or just observing it, fair dues. That's all. I just thought I needed to mention it really because, I was quite shaken up by that. Just the fact that, I don't know, you could kind of see the writing on the wall to some extent because a lot of their games weren't getting quite the same profile and yet they were still investing so much money in getting hold of these huge franchises like Game of Thrones and Batman and,
Borderlands.
That was actually not bad, actually. It took me a while to get round to that one, just because I wasn't really that enamoured with the Borderlands universe. I've always found it a little bit disposable, to put it lightly. But
we are finally in agreement about something. Hurrah!
Yeah, there can be too much
what
of a good thing.
What a shame it's fucking Borderlands. Right, anyway.
Yeah. That's coming to VR, I've heard as well recently.
Well, I hope everybody enjoys it, because it's not coming to my fucking VR, I can tell you that for nothing.
Well, it's, and it's not co-op, either, obviously, which is, I don't know what they're thinking there. And, apparently it's PlayStation VR exclusive, and it's not going to make use of the gun thing, which seems a bit redundant, really.
Right.
Oh well.
Okay.
Anyway, speaking of PS4, another thing that was kind of fairly headline news earlier a couple of weeks ago or something, is the fact that PlayStation 4 crossplay is happening, which Sony have been very reluctant to do, always kind of saying that they want to protect the experience and try to encourage people to play on PlayStation and nowhere else. But yeah, it seems like they're actually like letting PlayStation 4 gamers play cross-platform.
Yeah.
At least with Fortnite, I think is the only game that supports it right now.
It's good.
Yeah, I think a lot of developers actually have just said that it's been a tick box that they've just had to tick. By default, this shit should just work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, most of these machines are all like operating on the same protocols. They're all bloody PCs anyway now.
Or you can use protocols that either machine can work. I mean, it's basic networking stuff, really, isn't it? But if Sony are prohibiting it, then that's all right, I suppose. Yeah.
But yeah, I know that I think Adam, friend of the show, was a bit miffed that this was even a story, but I think there's just a bit of confusion with like who was letting people play with one another and which platforms were working together and, you know, they were letting through. But yeah, it seems like PlayStation are letting the floodgates open now, and hopefully this is a sea change for the whole industry and or at least Sony. And
hopefully it means that, you know, consoles and PC gamers can play together, and then Battlefield will be fun again.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So, I mean, it does beg the question, you know, like what actually is a platform if they're all allowed to play together? And Google and Microsoft have both been sort of teasing these new streaming services, which essentially are like OnLive. Remember that?
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry for them. Feel sorry for them. Like they were just a little bit ahead of their time, I think. But it seems it's all going this way.
Weren't they bought by somebody else?
I'm not sure actually. I know that there was one that Sony bought that was like a third party. I'm not quite sure what happened. I think they tried.
Sony bought OnLive.
They did.
Sorry, they acquired the patents anyway.
Oh, okay, yeah, because there was another one that was put together by the guy who used to work at Shiny, Dave Perry.
Was that Gaikai?
That's it.
Yeah.
So I think Sony just basically acquired both of them in a kind of attempt to probably corner the market.
PlayStation
maybe.
now uses the infrastructure of Gaikai.
Right.
And they bought OnLive maybe to get them out of the market.
Yeah, that would make sense. It's not the first time that's happened.
Business in it.
Yeah, so apparently Google's Project Stream, there was like this sort of demo of the new Assassin's Creed game running at 1080p, 60 frames per second.
Right.
And apparently, according to at least some of the guys on DLC, it works really well. And
US only at the moment, damn it.
Yeah. Well, it's still a test, and you know this wouldn't be the first test Google have done. Done and then ditched.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's the business side to figure out, but it looks like they're working with companies like Ubisoft, who are, you know, third parties, I suppose. So, yeah, I guess it remains to be seen what kind of support a platform like this has. Microsoft are doing something similar. Obviously, they've got all their back catalogue. And Microsoft have already experimented a bit with the whole kind of Netflixification of gaming with their Xbox on something service. So yeah, I mean, it looks like this is really starting to happen now. I wonder how long it will be before we simply just do not need anything apart from a controller and a TV, you know, and a subscription.
I just think that would be tragic. I think that would be tragic. What if we don't want to use a controller? What if we want to use keyboards and mouse? What if we want to use the HOTAS or something? What if we, you know, want to plug peripherals in? Or the normalisation of tech is you know, it would certainly make things simpler for everyone. But the choice goes out of it, for me at least. And I know both of us, I think all of us to some extent, will chase the, when can I get a 2070? Or, you know, I'm still on a 970 because I'm desperately trying to not buy a card every 2 years.
Me too.
And I'm, you know, I still play shit and it looks good. So, yeah, I mean, I'd quite like it for something when I'm away or, you know, lunchtimes, in quotes. And if, I suppose it would be nice to... I was at my brother's a few weeks ago, and his kids, when they just got Spider-Man, and they were playing it all weekend, and it would be nice to just kind of be able to do that with family, perhaps, as a family thing. But it just kind of takes the magic out of it for me.
Yeah, I know, it's nice to kind of own your pixels sort of thing, and I totally appreciate like having the power here. I mean, I've just invested in a 4K setup with the PlayStation Pro, and you know, this system would not do that. And there's a real jump, you know, in quality, I find. Yeah. And it, you know, the gameplay is still the same, but yeah, I think it's cool. Like from like a remote point of view, like if I was able to like play all my PlayStation games like at work, like at lunchtime or something, that would be cool. I mean, you can kind of do that
Doesn't
with remote play.
do that?
Yeah, I think it does.
It does do it over the internet, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I've not experimented with it yet. I've got the little dongle, but for some reason, where I lived before, I couldn't get it working from upstairs into my room. But
right.
Now, obviously, not an issue. I don't really have a use case for it, especially with Hearthstone still dominating so much of my life.
Yeah.
That's a whole other thing. But yeah, anyway, speaking of games you've been playing, probably move on to some of that, I suppose. Are you still playing Spider-Man?
I am at the very last boss battle. I'm saving it for the probably evening before Red Dread. Oh, I hope it's not Red Dread. Red Dead drops later.
Stand up for your rights.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
Yeah, sorry.
It's all right.
Yeah, I'm 81% myself. I think I've got 2 missions left.
Okay.
But I really did try last weekend because of another game that I've just started, got hold of. I was really trying to finish it, but every time I get sidetracked by all the side stuff, and I just don't feel like I want to finish it.
Yay! Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But also, like, I really enjoy the infiltration missions where you have to, like the base takedowns. You know, basically see how long you can survive.
Where you,
yeah.
I'm finding them challenging. They are not as simple as they could be. Definitely.
Yeah, and I'm finding myself like making extensive use of the gadgets, like especially like the little drones that you can send out to keep people occupied.
Yes.
There's quite a lot to actually keep track of, like wave after wave, and especially when the enemies get their rocket packs and stuff, which I find has added a whole new level of verticality to some of the combat and stuff.
And annoyance, awesome. But it's good. I mean, it's good that you can get up and do stuff with them quite easily without having to make it very accurate. Oh.
Yeah, it can become a little annoying when you kind of press triangle in the hope that you're going to zoom up to an enemy.
Yeah.
When the camera's not keeping up, or you've just fallen too far. But yeah, I think it's merciful that they allow a lot of that where you can just kind of zip to your target.
Yeah.
As well as that being incredibly exhilarating when they're halfway across the map as well.
Yeah. I have noticed, maybe because I've been playing it on remote play from my office, which is a generous term, to the lounge, I've noticed that I know when my nephews were playing it, they would push triangle to zip over to someone and it would be not the person they thought it was going to be.
Yeah, yeah.
But on the screen that I'm only like 15 inches away from, perhaps a little further, I have noticed that you can there is a very faint outline around the one that you're going to do it against.
Yeah, I think you can also aim yourself a bit, I find, with the direction stick.
When you're in the middle of button mashing, it can be quite difficult to realise which one you're going to pop over to, especially in some of the boss fights.
Well, yeah, and there's just so many people, and sometimes you can't even make out where they are. Sometimes they, that more are turning up, and yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, but I still feel like that I always have a gadget for whatever situation I find myself in.
Yeah, and I really like that, especially on the tough bases, as you said. It means I'm not just doing an Assassin's Creed and going in and pushing the fight button a lot.
Yeah.
There's I know it's all basically doing the same, and there's undoubtedly hundreds of different ways of getting through them, and you probably could just beat them up. But I like having the option to go, oh shit, I forgot to reload everything. I'll have to do the one that I never use, and then you get into that and start doing that in a way that you haven't done before. So it's a good game.
I find with those, I tend to use Web Blossom quite a lot when they're all surrounding me.
Yeah.
Which always gives you at least one dude that you can then start throwing rapidly.
Yeah.
And get him ready to throw at anyone that survived the Web Blossom.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of liberal use of gadgets and range and making sure I'm taking out, getting up high and taking out anyone that's like firing rockets, the bastards.
Yes.
I quite enjoy throwing the rockets back as well sometimes. It's quite fun.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that. I'll have a look.
Yeah, if you have to be very quick, but when the rocket's coming at you, it does the like left-right symbol.
Yeah.
And if you have to be very quick, and if you're quick enough, you can like totally throw the rocket back at them, which...
nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Although it doesn't quite have as much of a explosive effect as I might like, but it's still satisfying to send the rockets back from whence they came.
That is fair enough, definitely.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, Spider-Man, I'm sort of like trying not to finish, but I do need to finish it because yes, Red Dead and the other game that I've started, which is Shadow of the Tomb Raider, managed to actually score a copy of this off work. Basically, we have a library and there's a bit of a queue for some games, but I got in there fairly quick and was able to be second in line to get the copy of Shadow of the Tomb Raider that we have.
Yep.
Anyway, so I started playing it. I played the first 2 hours only so far, and so far I think I made the right choice in getting Spider-Man over this because they both came out very close together.
Yeah.
Not that I've got anything bad to say really, but it's just really business as usual. You know, there's nothing new to this whatsoever. It's that game, and they are very good games. I cannot complain.
People have said this one's a little bit kind of, whether it's this one or the fact it's the third one of these, it's a little bit samey.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, exactly.
But that's okay. I mean, I'm not going to get it day one. I'll get it when it's substantially cheaper on the PC.
Yeah, and I'm sure it will be soon.
But I did enjoy the other ones. Even the really annoying jumpy bits in the second one. You know, you just keep trying for 90 minutes and then you're over it. Jesus. Yeah. Yeah.
The thing I do, though, when I play these games quite often is I always seem to have played an Uncharted since the last one.
Yeah.
So I'm always trying to figure out what's actually different about this one. And it was fairly obvious straight away. There's more of an open world structure, an emphasis on crafting. It does feel different. It's also quite unforgiving. Much has been made of the fact that this has multiple ways to change the difficulty. You've got to be concerned when that's the only thing people are talking about. But you know, like you can make the puzzles, you can get hints faster, you can make it more obvious where you have to jump to. And I've just set it all onto normal at the moment, which has kind of involved a little bit of trial and error in places.
Well, that's all right. I mean, that's what games are about, right? It's about that risk and reward and all the rest of it.
Yeah, and you've got to see Lara fall to her grisly demise. Like, you know, it wouldn't be a Tomb Raider without it. You know?
Absolutely.
So, I've played 2 hours. I'm going to try and do my damnedest to make some headway with it before Red Dead comes out, and also finish off Spider-Man. But it's that time of year, I suppose, and it's no letting up.
It's the beginning of at least 65 hours worth of play in one game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah. So, we'll be talking about Red Dead next time. There's one more game I just wanted to quickly mention that I've played, and that is Creed Rise to Glory by Survios, who made the game Raw Data, which I still have not played, but I know a lot of people have rated it. So far, I think there's various modes. Okay. Yeah, I've only played a couple of hours on this, mostly because I had just returned from a fairly intoxicating camping trip, and I really wasn't up for the workout that this game is. I played 2 matches and the little training sessions in between. Basically, the training sessions in between are like a montage, just like Rocky. Basically, you have to do these quick little exercises, and then it cuts to the next one, and then you get like I think you get like some bonus health when you go to do the match.
Right.
So as you might expect, it's fairly one-to-one. Like you raise your gloves to block, and that sometimes you'll get on the verge of being knocked out, and you'll have to adopt some sort of pose. You run, like you walk around when you're in the training gym. You walk around by holding in the to a button on each of the touch controllers and moving your arms like this, sort of back and forth.
Yeah, that's becoming pretty standard. Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool, and that's how you move into the ring. And sometimes, like, you'll get punched out, and you'll like leave your body, and you'll have to run back into the ring.
I do just think that for the benefit of people who could not see your arms when you did that, Rob was basically moving his arms, pumping his arms up and down like he was walking briskly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's right, yeah. No. Yeah, thanks for that.
You're welcome.
And then you get into the ring, and it doesn't really mess around too much. There's a number of modes in this game. It does have online multiplayer, which God Christ, I can't imagine what that'll be like. But, like you can bob and weave and duck incoming blows, and also wait for an opening and try and get in a good combo. It's how I imagine, I don't know if I ever got round to it, but Wii boxing is probably not a million miles away from this.
Frank Bruno's boxing on the spectrum to me.
Yeah, but it's a lot. It's fucking knackering, man. Like I was sweating puddles after 2 fights in this. So I don't know what that says about my level of fitness. But I go to the gym a couple of times a week.
You need to do more. You need to do more Beat Saber, mate.
Yeah, that's probably it. But yeah, between this and Beat Saber, I'm thinking maybe I just can cancel my gym membership now.
Do it.
It's getting ridiculous. But yeah, I'm so hot under the goggles. I think I was only in there for 15 minutes, and I was like, my God, I need to sit down. It's really, really quite intense, this VR business. I'm a bit out of practice, but it's great that we're getting to this point now where, you've got to tie in with a movie that's actually a really fun experience. I mean, I wish really
Blade Runner 2049 VR one was good fun.
I don't think I tried that one.
It was good. It was proper. You're investigating shit and doing stuff.
Yeah, I need to get back on it, and I think maybe over Christmas, I think I might find some time. I think the problem is, I moved into this place. I've got a lovely, nice area to play in now.
Yeah.
And then it was fucking the summer of Satan. And I just couldn't bear the thought of putting it on my head because it was just so hot.
Yes. Nobody else is going to wear my Rift ever, having done it over the summer.
No, I know. Mine was pretty disgusting.
Like a tramp's bum crack. It's most unpleasant.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm going to try and give it another go when I've got the time. But yeah, it's such a busy time for games, and for me, when you play a game like that, a VR game like that, it really does just make me think of VR as just something else. It really isn't the same kind of relaxing vocation that I'm really into. With
you
most
mean
games.
from a gaming point of view.
Yeah, it's just something else completely.
Well,
I think.
That's a physical VR thing. Not all VR things are like that. Just reinstall Elite Dangerous. I suppose. There is no activity you need to do with that, really, at all.
I still find it very intense, though. It's still intense.
VR?
I just still find it very intense. Okay. I think maybe I've lost my legs while I've been sort of on a bit of a hiatus with it, maybe.
Yeah. Being pissed all the time won't help either. But
nah, yeah. Fuck my life.
Just jealous.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's kind of it for me as far as games go. Unless you've got anything else to add.
Let me just load Steam up and see if I have actually been playing anything apart from the 2 games that I play on Steam at the moment. Bear with me, caller. Talk amongst yourselves.
I'm wondering actually how long it's going to be before we give this Rainbow Siege game a go, or have you already done that?
I have. It was. You mean 6?
Like the recent one that seems to have quite long legs and is 4-player co-op.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, it was okay. I think it's, as far as I'm aware, and I don't actually know this, so find out for yourselves. It's full of people who have played it a lot now. A lot.
Right.
So coming in now would mean you'd install it, potentially. You'd have a really, very, very exciting time being everybody else's bitch. And then you would uninstall it. One of the things I have looked at, this is Overkill from Overkill. It's a Walking Dead, Left 4 Dead inspired thing. That may not be fair. There's only 3 levels available in the demo, or whatever it is. Hopefully not NDA beta.
Okay.
It does look very pretty. It does look very, very nice indeed. It uses UE4. Some of the game mechanics are at least in the ones that I've played, I've only played 2 of the 3. It's very Left 4 Dead. You've got to go and do stuff and cover things and bits and people and stuff. It just felt, and I'm happy to keep an eye on it, but it's like £47 at the moment. Sweet Jesus.
I don't know how they expect like people to cooperatively cough up for that. You know, it's
I mean, that's if you want to do a 4, that's £160 for fuck's sake, and it's a risk. You know, it's a risk. But I played it with Radis and a couple of randoms, and it was just, we couldn't get the game voice comms to run. Maybe there aren't game voice comms at the moment, and the coordination trying to do stuff. It was just, you know, I'd rather play the hard levels of Left 4 Dead, because at least that felt like there was some risk with that. And I think the problem for me with this, and I haven't watched The Walking Dead for years because obviously I get off sinking ships before they start taking on water.
Better man than me.
That's where I was going with that. The zombies they're just shufflers.
Right.
And they're just there, and they're just like an annoying fly buzzing around your head. And it just feels like, I want to put my hand out and just stop them, hold on to their heads so their arms are swinging around in front of me. They'll still kill you because there's this annoying, they'll kind of lurch at you, and then you have to press your mouse button to fight them off, and then, I'm down. And this just feels dated. That mechanic feels dated.
So there's no, like, tanks or witches and things like that?
There's
elites.
There's been like a blobby, a vomit, kind of a larger gentleman that vomits on you. In the one that I've seen, undoubtedly there will be others, but it just didn't do it for me. And I'm a massive fan of Left 4 Dead and would welcome anything else that does that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but I think the IP has just done it for me. I'm seeing it as a cynical cash-in rather than a great opportunity for the developers' payday to do something else.
But maybe we could, like, in a few years' time, sort of log on all together and talk about our feelings while shooting zombies.
No, we'll have to, I don't mind doing that, but we must buy a farm first so we can do it on a farm.
Or a prison.
Yeah, or just go for a walk along the road. And
just do the prison map, like, for ages and ages.
We could just sit there and, you know, we could see visions of things that are no longer with us while the audience slowly wonders if Strictly's on the other side.
Oh, that was brilliant. Thanks for listening to the Not Playing Podcast, part of the Not Listening Podcast Network, where you can also find the Not Watching Podcast, where we talk about movies and TV, and the Not Listening Podcast, where you can hear Adam and Co. talk about all kinds of nonsensical nonsense. You can email us at notplayingpodcast@gmail.com, or you can tweet at or follow us on Twitter at notplayingpod. You can find the show notes for all our shows at notlistening.co.uk, and if you like what you've heard here, please do leave us a review. Anyway, that's all for now. Until next time, bye!
My friend, I'm inclined to agree, 'cause I suck